We have to make sure that Lucy is not draining fluid from her brain out through her nose.
I was in a motorcycle accident in Italy 15 years ago. I had no helmet on. Got cut off, went over the handlebars and hit a cobblestone wall. I was cut from here down, and this was completely severed in two. So about a week later, I fly home, and I go to my doctor, and they seem to think everything was basically set. So just gonna leave it alone. They took the stitches out. As time went by, it started to like cave down here. And you can see it getting worse through the years.
You know, it sounds like you had an undiagnosed facial fracture that wasn't set, because a mid-face fracture, although will look okay in the beginning, will start to cave in over the years. So you had no brain trauma.
Did they check you for brain trauma?
It was a machine that I was strapped into, but I was standing up, and the machine went around me.
That's for your jaw.
That's what they did.
Was there anything at all in regards to any infections of these pieces of cartilage or bone up there?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so nothing ever where nose got red or drainage came out of your nose?
Sometimes when I bend over, clear liquid comes out.
Oh, really? Do you still have that leakage now?
I had it today.
When we hear clear fluid leaking, we think of something called CSF, cerebral spinal fluid leaking out of her nose. Basically, that's fluid from her brain. Is it just like clear liquid that comes
Clear
out?
liquid, it looks like water come out of my nose. There's no warning, and it comes out, shoots out, just falls out.
We have to make sure that Lucy is not draining fluid from her brain out through her nose.
A lot of what we do depends upon blood supply.
So a scar blocks that off, or?
Previous dissection disrupts blood supply. I want to make sure that blood supply coming from the other areas is preserved enough so that you will heal.
So you can still do it though, right?
So, so let's talk about improvement.
You have a good chance of 50% improvement and a good chance it could look worse.
Really?
Yeah. You could lose the entire tip skin. That is on the table.
About 3 years of age, I smacked my nose right here, caught the bridge of it on a bed with the actual bed frame.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't soft. And it cracked it after about 15 years of it just crooked. Before I moved off to college, I decided you could get it fixed. Then it became a party trick.
What became a party trick?
Okay, I do it first right here, it goes completely flat. And then if I go sideways.
I've seen noses like this before. It's called a saddle nose deformity, which is collapse of this part of the nasal dorsum right here. Now, how does this affect you?
To me, he's perfect on the inside, and I want him to match his outside. When I first saw him, I remember thinking, man, that guy is so cute. But I noticed something was going on with his nose. So to find out that he had actually had a surgery already, I was like, oh, so you broke it and then had a surgery and it still looks kind of funky? Like, maybe we should get that checked out. But I didn't want to say anything until, you know, I knew him a little better. We've been together going on 5 years now, and we're moving into, you know, that next stage in life, and, well, I'm hoping so. It's on my vision board, you know, a little raise.
Yeah, I noticed that she was like this.
You know,
There's nothing on it.
I dove into a 4-foot area of the pool, and I came out of the water. There was blood. My mother, of course, almost had a heart attack. She says, Pam, I want to take you into a plastic surgeon. I'll find the best there is. We ended up breaking the nose again and taking a lot of the bridge bone out.
Oh, so he scooped you out.
Tremendously. It actually lifted my nose up. Another doctor looked at it and said, I'm going to have to place an implant in, which is going to be a silicone implant.
Silicone implants in the nose were generally only used as a salvage procedure where so much soft tissue and cartilage was taken from the bridge of the nose. Today, of course, we have much higher tech like ribs and ear cartilage that you could put there that the body accepts more reasonably.
When I breathe in, it closes. So I started using nose spray.
So how many times a day are you using this?
4
Every day?
every day.
Have you ever gone a full day?
No.
In how many years?
Almost 30 years.
All right, so that's going to be a challenge.
I've seen her drive miles to find the stuff.
Really?
If you were going to have surgery, those sprays, you got to be off completely. The nasal spray makes tissue more sensitive. It can rip easier. It can bleed more. It can cause all kinds of weird problems. We know that there's something about a couple nose jobs in Tijuana.
It was a lot less costly, right?
Yes.
How much did you pay for it?
He charged me $2,500 for the rhinoplasty.
Wow, that is cheap.
You got to make sure you have the best and right doctor to give you the look that you need. Otherwise, you're going to come out completely messed up. Shauna did get what she paid for it.
Right when I woke up, the tip was purple, like the color of your tie.
That means decreased blood supply to the skin. If that happens, you basically can lose the entire tip of the nose. It can just fall off. Shauna's very lucky that that didn't happen.
I was willing to live with it, except one part on the tip, he had left this really sharp edge.
But you had a piece of aberrant cartilage that was sticking out of your nose there.
Even before the swelling came down, you could see it.
Oh, right away. I saw him a couple weeks later, and I told him I was really unhappy with the tip, so I went back 4 months later.
He worked on your tip 4 months later?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's one of the mistakes right there. You don't go back in the tip for about a year. If you go back earlier than that, the nose still is not healing, it's continually changing. And then if you go in and operate again, you can get more deformities that way.